gonna do something silly such as this, building a high-end PC in a budget case. Now, this case right here is the Lian V100R Mini, which means that with the R on the end of the 100 means that it comes with 4 pre-installed fans, 3 reversed on the side and 1 at the rear. Now, when I say a budget case, I'm gonna say the pricing right at the start, because this right here is $64.99 and without the fans is $49.99. And when we take into consideration the original V100, which was also an outstanding case, taking into consideration all the possibilities and everything that you get inside and outside and the combination of cable management functionality, this one is also brilliant because it supports micro ATX, back connect, it supports large GPUs, it supports 360 radiator at the top or 240 depending on your preferences, and you can additionally place 2 reverse fans on the power supply shroud. Now, guys, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to talk about, as you already heard, Lian V100R Mini, which is a quite compact case, but it can pack a punch with high-end components. Now, right here, I did place a micro ATX motherboard, of course, but I paired it up with AMD Ryzen 9 9950X3D. We're having MSI RTX 5080 Supreme SoC, and, well, basically, the other parts are in that sense irrelevant because I wanted to go with longer card, I wanted to go with extreme processor just to see the performance behind it and how it will actually act inside a smaller chassis, but still enough airflow, I think. Now let's break it down with the case, and I'm gonna give you some information that you need to know regarding it, just to deep dive into everything. So what you can expect inside the Vector V100 Mini is that it supports MATX motherboards, a smaller footprint featuring front and side tempered glass panels for 270 degrees, so you don't have any type of pole in that breaking the visual aspect of the interior part. Now, let's go with the fans first. You have 3 on the side which are reversed and 1 at the back. All fans are 120, 120, 25. Both regular and reverse have the speed from 500 to 1800 RPMs, but the airflow for the regular is 61.47 CFM, while the reverse is 60.4 CFM. Air pressure is 2.54 mm H2O for the regular one, and reverse is 2.17 mm H2O. Noise level for the regular one is 26.5, while the reverse ones are 30.8 decibels. They're already pre-connected together, so you don't have to, daisy chain them. The cables are nicely arranged at the back. You only have to connect addressable RGB header to your motherboard and PWM header to your motherboard. That's it. The good thing also is that this LED strip, which comes from the original Vector V100, is also pre-connected. So basically, when you connect that addressable RGB to your motherboard, everything lights up immediately when you turn it on. With this panoramic view, you actually get a quite nice LED strip, as I mentioned, but it kind of follows the line and really does look brilliant with everything all together, tempered glass to 70 degree. Then we have this line following the degree here at the bottom, and, well, basically the tempered glass as it is cut the same way. This is done precisely because of the 360 or 120 fans on the side to get that airflow inside the chassis and not being blocked, well, basically the bottom fan being blocked by the power supply shroud going throughout the whole case. The good thing about this case, and I'm going to repeat myself, the same thing as the Vector V100, the larger version, we have toolless panel removal. So the top, sides, everything is easily removed, including the front tempered glass. And at the bottom, we have a dust filter, which is also, you can just push it out and place it back in without the need of a screwdriver, which is outstanding. So basically what you need a screwdriver for is, well, components. Fan and radiator support, I think I already went through that, but 240 and 360 for the radiator at the top. Then for the fans, 3120 or 2140 at the top, 3120 on the side, which are already pre-installed in the R version, 1120 at the back, same thing, R version, and 2120 can go on the power supply shroud. In that sense, I would definitely suggest connecting literally everything prior to placing those fans and pushing through the cable for the GPU, just so you don't have to fiddle around with unnecessary, cabling with that, with those 2 fans. Now, there's a large GPU support, which means that it offers support for 415mm GPUs in length with a dedicated anti-sag bracket. Now for the cable management, when we go at the back, this is quite easy and straightforward. You already know for the back connect, but if you're going with the regular motherboard which doesn't have back connect, you have loads of multiple tie points at the back and side fan pass-through for the side fans, which will give you a nice cable organization. There's also a possibility to reroute the cables. You have Velcro ties in the middle for the 24 pin and any other cable that goes through that segment of the chassis. And then when we talk about the storage, you have a possibility to place one SSD behind the motherboard, 2.5 inch, and in the power supply shroud, you have a possibility either for 2 hard drives or 2 SSDs. That's quite alright, I think. Now, going with the front I/O panel, we have the power on button, the reset button, 3.5mm 4-pole jack, one USB Type-C 3.1 Generation 2, and 2 USB 3.0. Fairly enough, that's solid for the connection, and I think all in all, that's brilliant. So, as I said, the pricing is outstanding, and one more thing we do have to go through is the compatibility. So the GPU length clearance is 450 millimeters, the CPU cooler height is 163.5 millimeters, and the power supply, it supports ATX power supply, which goes under 200 millimeters. That's basically it. So I think this is another case that, well, Lian Li proves that you can actually do an outstanding chassis, an outstanding quality case for a lower price range. Because let's be honest, we don't have that thick, insane thick material, but it's all well done. You can't complain on the plastic on top and on the side because it's really nicely done and altogether fits and blends quite nicely. But the one thing that is quite important in this scenario is the benchmarks, because compared to other reviews that I did, I used 7900 X3D. Now I wanted to really push the limit of this case and see the performance of 9950 X3D, which is a, well, higher core thread count processor, which definitely should be interesting. And of course 5080, which is actually quite large in this scenario, so it covers up mainly most of the space inside the case, and that also depends on the airflow. Will it go through the GPU and everything altogether? So let's check this out. AIDA 64 Extreme Edition, we have the CPU going up to 76 degrees with the clock speed at 4930 megahertz. This is brilliant because, to be honest, I was expecting after half an hour of benchmarking that this CPU will definitely surpass 8082 or anything similar to that. And then the GPU started at 55, 56, climbed slowly, and reached 59. That's brilliant. Okay, I do have a Supreme SoC card right here, which has a massive passive cooler, which does the job quite nicely. But then again, nothing can prevent a GPU from overheating if the case is really bad, or it doesn't have a proper airflow, or anything similar to that. Then moving forward with Cinebench R23, we have 10 runs, average thermals are 77.3 degrees on the processor, 4973 MHz clock speed, and the Cinebench score is 40,812. Of course, you can expect for this type of chassis with this type of configuration to be at top of the line, number one in all the benchmarks and all the graphs that I have. But in general, when you take a look closely, it performs slightly lower with the HydroShift 2 LCDC, but then again, we're having a different case, different airflow, different everything, and I think this is quite good. I think this is quite good. If you're aiming for a case, you already have fans, but you don't want to overspend on the case. You have literally $50. You can buy this case. You have everything that you need. If you do need fans and you have an AIO, then you just buy the R version and you get four fans already pre-installed, already pre-connected, and you just have to plug and play. That's it. So I think this case is really brilliant. If you're looking for something that is much smaller in sense of M80X, you already have it. You just want to upgrade with a nice looking case, panoramic view, long GPUs, you already have an AIO, similar stuff like that. This is the way to go. I think this is definitely the way to go, and you'll definitely enjoy it. If you don't have this type of GPU that is so thick, you can even add 2 more fans on the power supply shroud and cool it down additionally. Guys, big thumbs up. I totally forgot the cable management at the back is outstanding. You just have to use those Velcro ties, eventually those zip ties that you get inside the box, in the accessory box, and tie everything up nicely, make it look clean, tidy, easily to rearrange if needed, and that's all there is to it. Big thumbs up to Lian Li, even though I really did enjoy the Vector V100. Vector V100R Mini is just brilliant. Big thumbs up. PC Crazy approved badge. No doubt about it. Recommend it if you want to check it out. The link is in the description. Paired up with the SP1200. I mean, I did pack quite an extreme build. Of course, you can always go with 5090 and more RAMs and bigger SSDs. But regardless of that, I think this proves the point. So, guys, the link is in the description. And if you like the content and this video specifically with the Lian Li Vector V100 Mini, R Mini, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, click the notification bell. Guys, I'll see you quite shortly in a new one where we will have a, well, time-lapse showcase video with this case and this entire build. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.